Okay, this is my 1968 Chevelle video series. This is my 7th video in the series, and hopefully this is going to be all killer, no filler. Just a short introduction here. I want to show you this picture. You should be seeing it right here. And this is when I got the left fender out, I found these items inside the fender. So I've also found out that the panel that I'm puzzled about is a shoulder panel. I've got it in my build list on 396 SS, which is a shameless plug for a place that I'm probably going to spend a lot of money at here very soon.
Okay, so the fender is finally off on the left side. I have the right side left to do. I'll look at the fender here in a minute. I've done a little initial grinding on that, but I just want to draw a bit of attention to some fun stuff here. I actually had to cut with the cutoff wheel right here. These two bolts here were just turning, and as you can see, there is no physical way to get at those. Those need to be welded into the car, and then they need to hold. Otherwise, you can't get that fender off. So now you know. You can see the rust damage under here is incredibly bad, and I'm not sure what to make of that yet. I can't find this part to replace it, to buy like a new part for this, and the metal is just totally destroyed. So I've got more work to do on that. Another quick note here is this is the debris that came out from that fender, including these collectibles here: a cutoff wheel, a car, and an empty can. I don't know. I can't explain why that would have been up there. The bumper and the fender well will be fine. That's the left side or driver's side fender well. I just have to clean it up and paint it and reattach the nut plates, and we'll be good to go. Okay, I started doing a little work on this fender, and you can see right here the finish had bubbled up under this where the rust was still on the car. Now clearly there's a dent here that they tried to pull out, and they didn't do a great job. There's Bondo all through here, and the metal is very wavy. This is going to be a real trick. I'm going to get a patch panel for all of this, and then we'll see how that goes. If that makes it worse or better. Of course, here's the fender that I cut out. There's a patch for this as well, so I'll be doing a patch for this down, and we'll see how that goes when it comes time. The lenses are fine. The plastic part is in good shape, but you can see that the turn signal housing is just perished. It's destroyed. I actually had to drill the screws out of this one. This one is a little bit better, but still pretty bad. I'm going to have to see about replacing those as well. I don't have much hope that I'm going to retain this stuff, but I want to keep a record. So I've got ground wires coming off of the front wiring harness. They're attached to the front bulkhead panel there. And then I have this little, I think it's a capacitor, going into this control unit here. So I'm going to remove all of these, and well, we're going to see what happens. I'll have to look up exactly what this is. This obviously is something with the headlights, and obviously this unit here needs to be replaced. It looks rough, to say the least. It takes 3 7/16 bolts though, and all the hardware and even the wiring harnesses probably all need to be replaced as well. Okay. Here's some extracurricular wiring activities. I'm not sure what they did with this. They wired this big red cable in, I think, as an alternate way of getting main power from the battery, and I just think they jerry-rigged it a little bit based on the fact that it's run behind the window wash pump and a whole bunch of other weird things. So I'm just going to cut that, and we'll figure out the wiring at a much later date. Just a FYI, for those of you out there in the wild world, if you're going to use one of these splices, and I absolutely approve of these splices, you make sure that the stripped wire is not showing, and you either heat shrink the wire, or you make sure the exposed wire is not showing and you heat shrink the splice itself, and it seals up the wire. Otherwise, you get corrosion in your wire. I was super concerned about labeling these, but now that I'm looking at it, it's not too much of a mystery where they go. Once you get the wiring harness, you see it really only goes in there one way. I'm just making a note here, we've got some grounds that are attached. I've never seen quite so many things attached to ground, so we're just going to pop all that good stuff off. We've got a side marker light right there, and this is the front blinker light marker right there, and that's the right headlamp, and that's the left right headlamp. Okay, this panel here is going to come off with one here, 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 and finally right here. And I'm going to take that off right now. Now, I haven't been doing a lot of grinding. The temperatures have been in the mid 100, like 105 to 110. It's going to be brutally hot today, so way too hot to be outside for long. But I just got the right fender off, and I want to grind off this a little bit because I'm wondering, there's a chance I may not even need to patch this fender, and that would be happy times. So we shall see. I'll definitely be patching that at some point in the very near future.
Okay, I'm just going to let most of this video play. I really like this video. This is me removing the right or passenger side fender and the front bulkhead that holds the radiator and all of the front stuff on. Really enjoyed doing this. I did this video with the time-lapse video using the GoPro, and I'll tell you, the production value on this is very low, and it's my video journal for me to look back on and kind of watch the steps and maybe even reference for the parts that I'm missing or need to put back together or whatever. But the technology thing is funny. Every time I have to use the GoPro, I have to like screw around with it for a while because it never just works right. And then if you want to like, there's a guy I watch who does the fast forward, the time lapse when he's doing engine disassembly. I Do Cars is the channel. It's a great channel. You could watch it all day. It just takes engines apart. But the more time that I spend doing the technology, the less time I'm working on the car. And you might imagine, I'd rather be working on the car than working on the video. So I love the video, but knowing how to pause it, to talk about it for a minute and then move on. I think in the video you'll see me struggle with a couple of bolts that gets fabulously stuck. I mean, one of them, I basically had to go back to the toolbox several different times to get channel locks and vice grips and all kinds of stuff. But I got it, and that panel's off and the front bulkhead's off, and the next project is the doors, and I'll just let the video run. So as always, if you're watching, thanks for watching.